Okay, we're going to consider now several examples of transactions that would be recorded in Canada's balance of payments. And let's consider first one, a Canadian transaction. Canadian deposits money in a New York City bank. So some guy, some woman, some person flies to New York and, I don't know, got $10,000 in their briefcase. Incidentally, if you leave the country with more than $10,000 cash, you better be careful. You should tell them when you're doing this because they could confiscate it. I'm not quite certain what that means because what happens if you have $10,000 in gold? Anyway, somebody flies to New York City. They got $10,000, $8,000, and they deposit in a Citibank. How did this record it? Well, let's look at this first. The Canadian dollars, Canadian money goes out. It can't be Canadian money goes out because that would be a plus. So it can't be that. Well, the Canadian goes out, that's true, but the Canadian comes back in. What we're looking at is something involving money or transactions. So the Canadian dollar goes out. That's pretty obvious. So we're going to move that over here. And that's the capital account, right? It's Canadian money. Now, if I deposited money in a New York City bank, I would want some kind of evidence that I've done this. So I want to come back to the country with a piece of paper that says that I've done this. And it would have to be a negative. And it can't be going out. It can't be this one, so it's got to be this one here. And that's on the capital account as well. So we've got two transactions on the capital account. Let's check this and see if it's correct. Ooh, correct. As I say, would you leave Canada? Would you leave money in a New York City bank? No, I wouldn't do that. Anyway, so let's go to the next one. Hydro-Quebec sells electricity to Ontario for cash. Well, the electricity goes out, that's true. But wait, does it go outside of Canada? Bonds, there's nothing about bonds here. Payment? Well, yeah, I guess the payment comes into Quebec, except it comes into Quebec. Quebec and Ontario are in the same country. The balance of payments only concern transactions that cross Canada's border. Imagine a dépanneur. If you move the bread from one shelf to another shelf, it has no effect on the accounts of the dépanneur, the corner store. So transactions are only recorded in the balance of payments if they leave the country. This is kind of a trick question here. Let's check this. Correct. Nothing leaves or enters Canada, has no effect. What's the next one? Molson Brewery sells beer to a retail chain in Germany. Well, Molson, I think it's American, but anyway, they brew beer here in Montreal. You can see it when you go down to the old city. And Germans like beer. I imagine they like to drink sometimes Canadian beer. So what do we have here? Well, the beer leaves Canada, and that's real stuff, beer. So that's a plus going out. Now, I suppose the Germans send us something, and we got to need a minus. So it can't be, well, financial paper, no, it can't be financial paper going out. That would be true. It's a minus, but it's going out. No, we got to get something coming in here. And they're going to send us some paper. So we've got the financial paper coming in. I think. Check. Yes, got that right. Okay, next one. Molson Brewery buys beer making equipment in Germany. Well, that's probably true. Probably the best beer making equipment in the world is made in Germany, and I would not be surprised to learn that the Molson Brewery down by the old port has equipment made in Germany. So, well, what do we got going on here? The equipment is a good, so that's got to come in, and that's got to be recorded on the current account. And we have to send them something. I'll just call it paper out. It's better financial paper. I'm sure that Molson pays them with something better than just simply paper, although commercial paper is a good term.